I am Sally Karioth. I've been at Florida State for 40 years, and I started out with a degree in nursing, I went back to school. I got 2 master's degrees and a Ph.D. and did some postdoc work in genetics at the University of London.
Good afternoon. Have you ever published any research studies in peer-reviewed journals on the issue of grief or trauma or death and dying?
Yes.
How many? And what are the peer-reviewed journals in which these were published?
Southeast Research Journal after Katrina.
All right. Any other journals?
There are other, the book on the Parents Magazine.
Parents Magazines is not a peer-reviewed journal, is it? The book is peer-reviewed?
Yes, the book is peer-reviewed, and it was sponsored by Parents Magazine.
By what organization was it peer-reviewed?
By the editors of Barnes & Noble.
Well, Barnes & Noble is a publishing house. What I'm asking for is serious peer-reviewed research journals that you have published. But what I'm referring to by peer-reviewed journals is where you submit a journal article to a recognized journal in the field. It is then sent to other experts in the field for their evaluation. Right. You know what I mean when I say peer-reviewed journal.
I do. That I'm an editor on several of the trauma journals in which other people send articles to us, and then we decide whether they can be.
But other than one article in the Southeast Research Journal, have you published any other research papers in peer-reviewed journals?
Yes.
Okay, tell me what they are.
If you will give me my vita, I will tell you what they are.
Go ahead. If you need to refer to your CV to refresh your recollection, that'd be fine.
Well, I'm just going to go through this piece, if that's okay.
Just tell, if you would, simply tell me what the peer-reviewed journals are in which you have published research.
All right. The Florida Department of Health, nurses responding to assisting hurricane victims, co-PI Sally Karioth.
Could I just interrupt? I just want the journal. I don't need the name of the article. I just want the name of the journal. Just the name of the journal, please.
Okay. It appeared in the Florida Department of Public Health.
Okay. Florida Department of Public Health.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's the name of an organization in the state of Florida, but what is the name of the journal?
This is an online journal that they get via computer.
Is it peer-reviewed?
Yes.
Who reviews it?
The folks at the health department.
Okay. What other peer-reviewed journal?
Healing Adjuncts to the Medical Model and Pediatric Nursing Manual.
Okay. That's the name of a book?
It's a chapter. Mm-hmm.
No, what's the name of the book?
Healing Adjuncts to the Medical Model.
And you wrote a chapter?
And I wrote a chapter, Managing Grief and Loss in Children.
And that is not a peer-reviewed journal, correct? That's a book.
Well, it's a book.
Other peer-reviewed journals?
Dealing with Death, A Strategy for Tragedy, which is a monograph for educators dealing with a student's death in the classroom, explaining death to children appropriate to their developmental age.
Okay, what I'm concerned about is what is the journal? I don't need
Dealing
the title,
with Death.
Just the journal.
Dealing with Death. It's a monogram. And the monogram that they put out each year for this particular group is like a set of articles. It's called The Monogram for Educators Dealing with a Student's Death in a Classroom.
Any others?
Dealing with the grief in a decision to donate organs, a support guide for families, and it's in TransLife Organ Tissue Transplant Services to Family out of the North American Transplant Coordinators.
What is the name of the journal?
TransLife.
Is that the name of the journal, the whole thing you just gave us?
No.
How often is this journal published?
It's quarterly, I think.
I object to her qualifications in the context of this case, Your Honor.
Witness would be accepted as an expert witness in the field of grief and trauma.
Thank you.